Welcome to the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Mike Torrez, Senior Partner at ActionCOACH in Central Iowa. I have Don Ferguson, owner of Viper Consulting Solutions, here as my guest today. Today,
Hey,
we're
Mike.
going to talk, hello, we're going to be talking about his business, journey in business, ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when other conversations like this drop. So, Don, welcome. Thank you for being here today. Please give us a brief overview of your background and tell a little bit about your business.
Well, hey, Mike, thanks for having me on today. My background is I'm an entrepreneur from, oh boy, about the last 25 years. I used to own a moving company, then a trucking company. Then I got into real estate to where I was buying and selling houses. And then one day I was looking at, well, the reason I got into houses was people weren't there to help them. I used to help people in distress that were in foreclosure. And then I got to looking at advertising, like for restaurants, because some of my favorite restaurants closed. And I was like, well, somebody's got to be able to help them. And so I stepped up and learned everything I could about restaurants and marketing restaurants. That's pretty much my thing.
So, to set the stage for our viewers and listeners, generally speaking, what does the current leadership structure look like in your organization?
Well, at the moment, I'm a one-man band, but I do hire assistants when needed, when we have big projects come up. So haven't took a step into hiring employees yet, but it'll come.
Yeah, nice, nice. Tell us a little about your role currently. I know as a single entrepreneur, you wear tons of hats, right, in the business.
Oh,
So
for
when you
sure.
look at your role, uh, how many hours do you spend working on your business, the job, and how many hours do you work on the strategies building your business?
Boy, I mean, I work probably about 60, 70 hours a week in the business. And as a solo entrepreneur, sometimes that's twiddling your thumbs trying to think of stuff. But the marketing part's the biggest part is getting out there and letting people know that you exist and that you can do something for them. I mean, it doesn't matter how good you are. If people don't know that you exist, it doesn't matter. You can have the best
Oh yeah.
glue in the world, and if nobody knows, nobody knows, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Being in that business too, where we have to market ourselves and let everybody know who we are. I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Let's move into what makes your business so special. Who primarily does your business serve? If I were in the audience, how would I know it would be a good fit for you, your product?
Well, I work with restaurants and med spas, and the reason I do, they're similar, but they're different. And when I say they're similar, the market's kind of the same. And one thing that makes us unique in the market is when we do marketing for businesses, we can actually measure ROI. So we can tell you that Mike came to the restaurant and he spent 45 bucks. And we get a list, we get a list of customers like with their birthdays and when they came and how much they spent, like from our advertising efforts. And I don't know anybody else around that does that. Radio doesn't do it, TV doesn't do it, and print certainly doesn't do it.
No, that's a great niche to have. That's for owners to know that ideal customer and what they want and how to make them special. That's a big asset that you bring to that owner.
Well, that's the big thing. And one of the things that we do to make the client's customer special is we offer what's called a birthday campaign. And we can actually reach out to people like within 7 days of their birthday and put an ad right in front of them, like, hey, come on and enjoy us. Come enjoy us for a facial. Come enjoy us for your birthday dinner. Bring your friends. And that's something that we're able to do, no big deal. And it's amazing how little that truly costs in spending money for ads and the returns. I mean, I had a customer recently that we were spending $90 a month on birthdays, but for meals for the month, we brought in $9,000. So I think that's a pretty good ROI.
Yeah, very nice. And you talked about, nobody else there is doing what you do, but how do you tell that what makes your business unique? Why do your customers and clients choose you? Dig a little bit more into that.
Well, why do they choose me? Here's the funny part about restaurants and some other businesses. They're stuck back into the 2000s. I know we're in 2023, but it's like caveman days in marketing and advertising and using the digital media. And one thing we do is we just do it well. We believe in building a list. You've heard the term, the money's in your list, I'm sure.
Yes.
Where a lot of businesses drop it, and this is where we're unique, is we reactivate that list. We get hold of their list, and hopefully they have one like from their POS or their CRM or whatever, and we reach out to those past clients. And that's another place that where people drop the ball, and where we're unique is we'll reactivate those guys. I mean, how many business? All right, I mean, you've been around a while, man. We were talking about restaurants earlier. How many of your favorite restaurants reach out to you?
Not very many.
I mean,
None, actually.
I signed up for Famous Days, and Famous Days reaches out to me like once a week, which I appreciate. And Burgers Bagels just sent me a birthday bagel, so I was pretty geeked about that. But again, out of all the restaurants here in the area, and especially throughout the country, why aren't people reaching out? And that's what we help them do. We help them do things that they're not, that's relatively inexpensive, and it has a high rate of return.
Yes, yes. Jeff Henderson, he has what you want to be known for, and that's exactly what he talks about in his book is um, being out in the community, offering them and sharing, that birthday moment, finding out what the community's doing and sharing it on their page.
Well, that's another thing too. Like a lot of businesses, they show their products all the time. They don't show their employees. They don't do a video like this asking their employees, like, what's your favorite dish here? And why is it your favorite dish? And
Mhm.
this is Mike. Mike, what's your favorite dish? And it's the same thing
Yes.
for us too. Like, what's your favorite treatment? And what do you love about working here? What do you love about coming here? And it, I think it's about reaching out and touching the customers, where we've kind of gotten away from that. I mean, yeah, you get the cold calls, the automated cold calls and that kind of thing, but it's not the same as reaching out to your customer and saying, "Hey, Mike, happy birthday, man. Hope you come down to the restaurant and see us." You know?
Yeah,
And
that's it. That's the new thing with like AI, right? AI is great. We got to use it as our tool and stuff like that, but it's never going to have this interaction, this face to face. It's not going to have that kind of thing to it. So you use it for what it's good for, but make sure we don't lose this touch,
sure,
right?
sure. I had some restaurant customers that actually reach out on birthdays, believe it or not. They get their phone numbers, and they know their birthday's coming up that week. They reach out to them and say, "Hey, Mike, this is Bob with Bob's Burgers, and happy birthday this week. We hope you get a chance to come down and see us. Come on and see us. We got something special. And mention that I called you. And there you go. And when's the last time anybody called you besides your auntie or your mom and said happy birthday?
Yeah, yeah. I get a lot
And
of advertisements, but
yeah, it could be a text, it could be an email, or it could be a phone call. I mean, but the thing is, this is where we're different. And we get people in. We try to get them in their comfort zone of doing things a little bit different, so they seem different and they come off different, like they really care about their clients or their customers or their guests.
yeah, nice. Now, what's one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
That I was here. That's the thing
Yeah.
nowadays. We do a lot of marketing with social media and stuff, and of course Google. But one of the things is how do you stop the scroll of social media? How do you get people to watch your videos? And you never know what's going to hit. What's going to be a video that people all of a sudden they get shared 100 times. I mean, I was in a hospital recently, and we had a new sushi place open up here in Des Moines. And I
Mhm.
talked to them. I wanted to go in and do an interview, but I couldn't because I was in the hospital. So the owner
Mm.
sent me some pictures, and I wrote a nice little thing about, hey, Des Moines, we got a brand new sushi joint. Come on down and check them out. This is what it looks like inside. I don't have any food pictures yet, but man, that one had over 2,000 comments and over 1,500 shares for a place I'd never been to. But I just mentioned it, and they had some really cool pictures. So again, and
Nice.
in my page, my food lover page at the time was 3,500 people. Now it's over 5,000.
Mm.
And I put the same thing on one of the food lover review pages or where to go, and it got like 300 shout outs and a couple, like 16 to 20 shares. So they got 30,000 people. It doesn't matter. And again, that's what we try to teach people too. It doesn't matter the size of your audience. It matters the quality of your audience.
Nice. Quality of your audience, guys. Write that down.
It's all about the quality, man. It ain't about the number.
Oh, you set the segue for marketing, which is our next, which is something that is vital for every business out there, and often an area where many business owners struggle with, right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the restaurants. They build these beautiful restaurants or the spas too. And they get their budget for their food, for their employees, for everything. And what's the one thing they forget is to shout out to people, hey, we're here, we're open.
Yeah, yeah, we're always curious what successful businesses are doing um, with their marketing and stuff. So, for your business, how many different marketing strategies are you currently using?
Three. We're on TikTok and Google and Facebook, Instagram Reels. And we're finding the 1 minute videos do great. Because
Mm.
people they just don't like long stuff, and that's like when I go out and do an interview with a restaurant, we try not to make them over 5 minutes long. Sometimes they go out to 7 or 10 minutes sometimes, but we see the fall off after about the third minute. And so again, it's very important that you measure your metrics and you see what's working and what people are responding to.
What is your number one marketing strategy that's been working for you right now?
Telling people what works again with the 1 minute videos and give the stories. And I really like the storytelling format, and I think people like it more too. It's not so dry,
Yeah.
but sometimes you'll see that, hey, you want to see how I turn $90 into 9,000? And no, that's not the story. The story is, hey, so I've got this buffet type restaurant, believe it or not, and we decided to do something for them, like bring people in for their birthday so they feel special. And so what the deal there was, the restaurant, their average ticket was, well, their meal was $30. And so a lot of you guys were like, ooh, we're going to freak out. We're not going to get $30 away for somebody to come in. Well, here's the cool part, Mike. The cool part was out of that, we gave away 30, but the average ticket was 175. So think about giving that $30 away. Everybody's so taught up about doing stuff for free. Sometimes it's okay, especially on a hot, to bring them in the very first time so they get a chance to experience your business. And it doesn't
Mm.
matter if you're a plumber, you're a day spa, you're an air conditioning guy. Sometimes what's the hook to get the people to know you and to get to know you and like you? Because if you give really good service and you got good food or you give them a good experience, I think more of it's about the experience. If you
Yeah.
give customers a good experience, I mean that's that good no matter what you do, that's the big deal. And
Hmm.
they'll save you in the top five of their phones. Like if they need an air conditioning dude, well, yeah, Don came out and he was on time and he didn't drag mud into my house and everything got fixed. So, again, it's how do we get in front of the client first so we're top of mind.
What approach have you taken to track your leads? You talked about the Google and stuff. Are you using any CRMs? Do you prefer one?
Yeah, we have one we actually that we sell too, and it tells us everything. To tell you the truth, it measures our Google, like how many people have visited our website, how many people have called, and when people call it, actually it'll make them a customer automatically, and it'll record the call for us. So we
Okay.
talked about we can take notes, we can set appointments, we can actually do our marketing from there. And so again, it's one of the biggest tools of marketing now. We call it the client reactivation, and it's reaching out by text.
Hmm.
And with the restaurants, it works really good. Or again, it doesn't matter what business. It's just a reminder. Hey, this is Don. Haven't talked to you for a while, Mike. I just want to reach out and say hey, and hope things are going well. Need anything? Give me a call.
Yeah.
But that's better with an offer if you have some type of offer.
No, okay. We spent a bunch of time focused on the business and sharing a few best practices for our audience, I'd love to take a step back and dive into your journey a bit. Why did you choose to go into business for yourself opposed to working for someone else? And what was that transition like for you?
I got tired of working from the man, and it boiled down to trucking because, in trucking, we got paid by the mile. And so I became an owner operator, and that was going pretty well. And then I switched companies to the very first Uber of trucking, and it was a company called Landstar. And all they did was match loads to trucks. They didn't own the first truck. And so I could pick and do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and I ended up loving it. Well, then the big thing happened. I blew an engine in my truck and I didn't have $18,000 to fix it. So it's time to regroup. And what are we going to do? So I got into real estate and I got into foreclosures. And I just got tired of dealing with contractors on that one, to tell you the truth. But
Yeah.
that last 10 years, it was very, very good to me. And after that, I got into marketing and I was kind of all over the board, especially when you start out, because, when you're in business, everybody's my customer. Well, everybody's not your customer, man. We all know that. I mean, once you've been in business for a while, you learn, no, not everybody's my customer. And
Yes.
so I wanted to niche down and see who I could help out. And again, med spas and restaurants are very similar in a lot of ways. And one has a list of clients, another one doesn't. And the restaurant guys, I mean, there's lots of great restaurants around. They go out of business. You're like, well, what happened? And we all know what happened was one of two things. Either it was crappy food or they had no customers. And
Mhm.
usually they had no customers. I've
Yeah.
seen,
Nope. Like you said earlier, you just want them to know about, nobody knew about.
yeah. Well, there's other ones though that people drive by them. I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. And how many places have you driven by? I'm going to give an example. I've lived here like 18 years now. Drove by the club car in Clive. I mean, I drove by that place for 10 years. I was like, man, I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. And one day I finally went about 10 years later. I actually did an interview with them. And it was a lot of fun. But I was like, now I go there about once a month. But again, you drive by places, people, they had best intentions, they just don't do it, you know?
Mhm.
Sometimes they just need a little push with a little offer to get them in.
Yes. Now, as you look back on your journey so far, what has been the most memorable roadblock or hurdle you were challenged with, and how were you forced to overcome it?
My biggest roadblock was me.
Mm.
And I'll sit here and say it. I mean, I could blame everything else, but it's me. And sometimes it's the analysis paralysis thing to where you want to overanalyze things. And it's just like General Patton said, an adequate plan today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. Just go out and do it. Make the phone calls, trip over yourself, make the mistakes. That's how I learn. And you learn from them. And you learn what
Yes.
people respond to and what people don't respond to, you know?
Yes. Just taking that first step, like it says behind me, right? The biggest risk you take
Is do
is that
nothing.
first step, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the part you got to embellish into a lot of other business owners, especially in the marketing and advertising field. Is you asked me what set me apart. I mean, we have website's a website. I mean, but is it really? When's the last time? And most of them don't ever track this. How much money? All right, so how much money did your website make you? Where's it at on Google? Because if you're on page 2, you're nowhere.
Hmm.
you know, and people still use Google to look up Bosnian food or Mediterranean food or whatever, and
Yes.
and another thing is how can we help people save money? Well, do good advertising and measure your advertising. And it's amazing to me in a digital age where you can actually measure to the penny what it made you. People still want to do val packs and stuff. I mean, everything has its place, but if you have a budget, you might want to go for the one where you can actually measure it and see what works before you start doing other things.
Now let's fast forward a few years. Where do you see yourself in your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh man, I look for a business I'd be able to sell.
Yeah.
Have about 3 or 4 employees, or maybe a couple more, but I'm looking forward to retirement, man. I've turned a big 6'5" this Thursday, so
Ooh.
it's getting
Well,
ready to
congratulations.
start looking for the retirement, to spend time with the kids and the grandkids.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, what has been your approach on this goal setting? Uh, how many goals do you set at a time, or how do you document them, and what do you use for a time frame?
Boy, I've never been one big on goal setting, except for what's the revenue we need this month,
Mhm.
and just go at it from there. And just start making the phone calls and seeing the people. One thing that we'll do with the on the food side is we'll go in and interview restaurants. We actually have a Facebook page called Central Iowa Eats, where people can go, and we've interviewed restaurants and people can go on there and talk about them. It's just a page, but it's fun to do, and you get a chance to meet people. And my members, not members, but page likers, they get a chance to see what's behind the scenes and whether they like the owners or not. Some of the owners are likable, some of them aren't. But when I need customers, I get on the phone, start making phone calls, and I start making interviews.
Nice.
So the main thing is what we're trying to do is what is recurring revenue. I think that's a big
Hmm.
thing a lot of people don't think about. I mean, you can go in for a one and it's done, but how can I get in a business where I can help them and I get paid monthly for it?
Hmm.
And so that's where the marketing campaigns come in.
Nice, nice. Now, we've certainly covered a lot of ground in our conversation today. For those who are watching, I highly encourage to save this video, watch it over and over and get some great nuggets from Don here on his experience in the marketing and his niche in the restaurant and, and salon services. For additional watches, click on our channel and see more conversations as they come out. So as we begin to wrap it up, Don, I have a few rapid fire questions, quick top of the head answers for each.
Okay.
Um, all right. So, what is the key to success for you?
Perseverance, man. Keep charging.
Nice. Now, what is your one piece of advice for other business owners?
Get out of your own head because things are easier than what you're making them.
Nice, nice. Now, what is one book you are reading now or have read most recently?
Alex Hermosi, $100 million offers. Love that guy, man. I just love that guy.
That is an awesome book. That's where we're doing a deep dive into that this month. If you had one, if you had to choose only one area in your business that you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Sales. I'd hire a salesperson.
A salesperson?
Mhm. And that would be their only focus. Again, you need to get out of your own way. And that's one of my blocks.
Nice. Now, before we get into the final question of the day, how can others learn more about your company and how they can get in contact with you?
They can get viperconsultingsolutions.com. Don Ferguson, 515. Boy, I forgot my own phone number, 988-9917 or 505-515-505-1400. But Central Iowa Eats, you can go see us having fun with restaurants, or you can just follow my page, Don Ferguson. I don't post often as I should, as we all should, but I put nuggets there, that's for sure. And actually, we're getting ready to start a group up about marketing for your business. And I'm pretty excited about that. Looking at about 2 more weeks out, getting everything set up now for a membership area in our CRM. So again, if you want to set up a Facebook ad, you want to set up a Google ad, it'll show you how to do it, and it's going to be free.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. So you follow Don, and Viper Solutions. If you're interested in getting in that group, here in the next 2 weeks, reach out to him and learn more about marketing and how you could be known in your area, right?
How to get
Uh,
more customers indoors and butts in seats. That's what it, or feet on the floor, whatever it takes.
yes. Now, what what is most inspiring you today?
It's sunny outside. We're getting rid of the gray and it's warm. I love it. Then sunshine makes everything better.
Well, great. Yeah, that weather, I don't know, it changes really fast. here in Iowa, and I'm enjoying it, but I'm afraid to buy in. Well, I want to thank Don for his time and Viper Consulting Solutions. Make sure again you follow, like. If you're a restaurant owner, make sure you get in contact with him and let him spotlight your restaurant and tell your customers why you're the place to go eat, right?
For sure. And if you're a foodie, go to Central Iowa Eats and discover some new places.
So again, thank you, Don. It was great having you, and thank you for all your great nuggets and insight on your journey in business.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate being on.
Thank you.